Right, we have just touched down at London Heathrow, and the first stop was straight to see my friend Brian, the true Geordie. What's happening, mate?
All right, mate, we're going to talk about this fight and these events.
Let's talk about the event as a whole. Misfits 13. One, probably of the most memorable Misfits events, for good or for bad.
It was wild, wasn't it? It was the fucking most mental thing.
Never a dull moment with Misfits. That's why I fucking love it, man.
Do you know what I was so relieved about, right? Just before we get to the actual main event, because we're going to talk about that, but the fact that you got your fight out the way before the bomb threat, because in my head, I'm like, Joey looked fantastic. We've got that banged. Now, if whatever happens, because I thought they might not restart it, right?
Can I just say,
thank God.
There's some people who might not have known anything about this card, and they'll be thinking, hold on, did he just say bomb threat? Like, literally, It was fucking crazy, mate. And yeah, you're right, man. The fact that I got my fight done first was an absolute blessing, because to then go, like, mate, Cray Cray's outside. He's got like his hands wrapped in his hoodie and that. He's trying to keep warm. I'm pestering him. I've got Fred's microphone going, come on then, how's the fight going? Whatever.
You know what was weird? You did a better job than Fred does. I was like, fucking putting him out of a job here, mate.
Yeah, I took the microphone and I thought, right, who's got a dead mum here?
And especially my mom, who is in the heavens right now.
Certainly, I hope your mum's all good. Let's talk about this then.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hope she's doing all right.
I do hope she's all right.
But that must be why Fred rang me, actually. Fuck me.
No, you declined the call. He went, He went, I'm going to call Brian. And I went, all right. And he went, oh.
No,
he's declined my call.
I didn't decline. So my phone automatically declined. But I seen it, I was like, nah, I'm not ringing the back. No, I'm joking.
Do you know what I want to start off on, right? I want your thoughts on how the main event unfolded. And we will get back. We'll go through the card. We're going to speak about Yadi Cray Cray. We're going to speak about all the fights, mine included in that. But the way it went down with the main event.
Like, I'm watching from home, and here's the thing, is like, for me, Misfits is a UK-focused audience. It was built here. It was started here. And obviously, to be sat up at whatever time in the morning for a lot of people, 2, 3 I can't remember what the fuck it was, might have even been later, to have gone through the delays and to be thinking about, all right, let's see what this main event's like. And then to hear, like, you know, after what was a bit of a lackluster co-main event, where the co-main event, Chris Avia says basically how shit Misfits is, in his opinion. It was a bit of a car crash to hear that, and then to hear that this guy isn't coming out, Most Wanted isn't coming out. I was just like, oh no. And like, I'll be honest, from the get-go, I didn't want this fight as the main event, personally. But obviously, I understood the logic in Misfits wanting to push Fox. Fox has star quality. He's got potential. I still think you're ahead of him in every regard right now, and I'm not just saying that because you're my mate, but I think that, you know, in my head I was like, is this a bit too soon? Fox is still very young, making him a main event against two guys who have only shown us failure so far. It's a dangerous thing to do in putting so much faith in people who are so inexperienced and not proven. You know, when you think about the fact that Slim, Salt, Pappy, even, I don't even know if Deji's main evented a Misfits card yet, you know, like a lot of the bigger guys who are the most known, reliable, trustworthy guys haven't yet been given this level of responsibility. So to give a guy like Most Wanted that responsibility was a huge risk, and but one I didn't expect to backfire this badly. Like I thought the fight would be horrendous, and that it would be an easy domination, but I still wanted the best for Most Wanted, for example. That, you know, I even message him, good luck, mate, because I'm thinking if you can just show something, mate, and between the two of you balance this stamina out, you could, you know, one of you put 100%, the other one put 100%, minute and a half each, you know, you could really make some sort of offense just so that you got a bit of self-respect afterwards and show something. But no, to hear he wasn't coming out, I mean, my question for you, I know, and this wasn't public knowledge, but I know that you were helping Most Wanted as much as humanly possible behind the scenes.
All of us were.
During fight week, from Most had never gotten a plane before or whatever. So you were literally going, here's what you do, and holding his hand from that point onwards a lot of the time.
Mate, literally like, and people might now think that this sounds patronising, but I don't care. I'm just being honest. I tried to help that boy as much as I possibly could on fight week. Like me and my coach Joe Miles and the rest of the team, Alfie and Tom, we had good chats with him, a couple of good pep talks with him, sort of thing.
When you say pep talks, what do you mean? Did he need a pep talk, or were you just offering it?
No, he needed it. He needed it.
Also, was he showing signs earlier in the week that like this ain't all right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but in hindsight, the warning signs were there, man. They were definitely there. Listen, most.
What kind of warning signs?
Do you know what most does, right? He talks out loud and he's talking to you, but he's not talking to you. You just happen to be there. He's talking to himself. So he would say certain things during fight week. He went, I think I'm the hardest puncher in this lightweight division, really. And I went, you been serious? And he went, yeah, I've got the most power. And I'm like, fuck off, what are you going on about? Like, but we was having a good laugh.
I almost
with him
admire this sort of delusion of it.
Mate,
because if you believe in yourself, it's a healthy thing, but to a point.
Yeah, mate, if they offered a gold medal for delusion, he'd be an Olympian. Honestly, like, the fella, I don't know. But basically, the gist of it I got was, and again, it can sound patronising. It potentially is patronising, but the gist of it I got is the fella needs an arm around him and he needs a bit of looking after. I have been, listen, like, regardless of Misfits, and the lights are brighter, the cameras are bigger, but regardless of that, I've been around boxing a long time. I've done a lot of boxing events, not just boxing myself, where I've cornered fighters, and I understand sometimes when they need a little bit of tapping into. And it felt to me like Most Wanted needed a little bit of an arm around him. And that is completely understandable. You're in a different country for the first time. He's never been on an aeroplane before, right? So you're in a different country for the first time. There was a few things that he had never done before, Most. Like, I remember when he came to Leeds and he got his hair cut, came up to me and went, do you like my hair? And I went, yeah, you've had it cut. And he went, yeah. And he went, first haircut I've ever had. I went, ever? He went, yeah, in my life I've ever had. So what I'm saying is he's probably been a little bit sheltered type thing. And for those reasons, I really tried to a point where, listen, everyone takes a little bit of weight off on the morning of their fight. It's just how you sort of do it. It's not
for the weigh-in.
Yeah, for the weigh-in. It's not too extreme sort of thing. But you take a couple of pounds off on the morning because then you have enough weight on you during camp that you're going to minimise the chances of injuries. You know, you can eat a little bit better, fuel your sessions, whatnot. Then in the morning, you might have a bath and whatever, take some weight off. I had a pound or so to take off. It's not dangerous. It's fine, right? Most had a lot more to take off, right? He had eaten well after our fight in Leeds, yeah? He had a lot more to take off. I'm sitting doing this little weight cut. It's not nice, but whatever. I'm sitting doing it. And I said to my coach, right, I said, how much more has he got to take off? He said the amount. It was a fair bit. I said, mate, go in there and help him. So on the day that I'm making weight, right, my coach...
That you're paying?
That I'm paying, I'm sending to help Most Wanted. I'm sending him into the room to help Most Wanted. And fuck me, he needed some help, mate, because he weren't doing things right at all. What I'm trying to say is I really felt like we give a lot to help Most, sort of thing.
I think this is off the back of, you know, obviously you beat him in your opening fight and you needed an opponent because we'd been rejected by a couple of lads, and because he took it, there was a level of camaraderie there of, you know what, mate, all right, we had to fight, but for now we appreciate that and we'll look after you in any way we can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. So, and that's just me going on about myself. You know, I'm sure his team will feel a certain way. Fox himself will feel a certain way about what's gone on with Most.
The evil hero as well, the lad who did make the walk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's just mad. The main thing that I would say is
Did you see it coming, basically, now looking back at it? Like, do you think...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it coming, yeah. But I didn't think it would happen. But now, in hindsight, looking back, yeah.
You know what confuses me? He made the walk against you and he did it so sort of... casually. He didn't look like he was even phased in the slightest, which for your first fight, I thought, you know what, you've got a fair bit of confidence there. Good luck to you. Like, so it never even occurred to me that he wouldn't make the walk against Fox because you've already been chinned and you've seen how it's bad, all right? But usually it's a bit like failing a driving test or whatever. Once the worst happens, you're like, actually, now I can get a hold of this.
Yeah.
It's strange to me that he would have the frights now.
You can look at it the other way, though. You could say before he was going into the unknown and he didn't know the danger. And now when it came round to it, he's pretty thinking, oh, that could happen again. And
watch the way Fox hits.
Bad intentions. He's going to be coming for you. I said to him also, I said to him, listen, in this Misfits thing here, it's very much winner stays on. And that doesn't necessarily mean the winner of the fight. It means in terms of how you sell it. Oh, this amazing promotion that he said. He said to me, oh yeah, he went, you was a good fighter, but I promoted the fuck out of that. And I'm thinking, bruv, what comes out your mouth is so stupid. My head could just explode. Like, what are you going on about? You promoted the fuck out of it. You didn't do any, like, I don't know, man. It was delusion at the finest. And I feel sorry, man, because I would like to, and also probably what I should just say, one of the main reasons I'm fucking pissed off at Most Wanted was the little fucker was rude to me as well.
Yeah.
I went in there and tried to sort of say, look, Most, this is a big opportunity.
Was this just before you were supposed to make the walk?
Just before, when he was bottling it, I went in there and I was like, Most, look, it's a massive opportunity, mate. Go out there, do it. As long as you go out there and turn up, I guarantee you, yeah, Mams is a good bloke, and like you've said to me before, you know, he'll reward someone for a bit of emotion as well. And he would have given Most Wanted another fight. And I'm trying to say this to him. Most Wanted's gone, nah, fuck off, come away from me. And I'm like, what? He's like, nah, fuck off, come away from me. So after he spoke to me, like, he can go and fuck himself anyway. But
from memory, I think they had to restrain you at that point.
Mate, honestly, like, he just... Oh,
because bearing in mind, if you think about it, you've helped them get on the plane, you've given them pep talks throughout the week, you've literally instructed your coach to go and help him during his weight cut instead of your weight cut. You've been there as best as you could as a friend. And then at the last moment, when you're trying to help him do what he should do, like, it's one thing to say, nah, mate, I can't, but it's another thing to disrespect you in the way that he was. That's really disappointing.
You know, when you talk about, like, it's going to sound insensitive, but anxiety attacks, panic attacks, things like that, I get it, they happen. But you are being paid thousands of dollars on a professional boxing platform. You sort of waive your right to any of that when it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like,
do you know what else, though? Say you go out there and get starched. That's more respectable.
100%.
Do you understand what I mean?
100%.
As bad as it would feel, as bad as it looks, and the replays and the highlights that were shown on DAZN or whatever, you not bottling it is far more admirable. To be fair, so I hope there's been a lesson learned from that, because I don't know if you've seen that female MMA girl bantered him.
No, what happened?
There's this female MMA chick, this blonde girl who's quite well known. I'm forgetting her name. Apologies for that, but he's had a back and forth with her. Right, he's been winding her up, and she fucking literally put a picture of her making the walk, being like, you know what happened? I made the walk, and I stopped the girl in 2 rounds of her. And then a picture right next to her is a picture of him being interviewed by Fred. And like, that's the shit that now he's being subjected to. And I'm like, if you'd made the walk and you got beaten up, people have more respect, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I hope he's all right. I hope he's all right in himself. But let's move on anyway. Fox the G ended up getting in there. He got in there with old Evil Hero. Evil Hero's a nice bloke, man. I liked him.
Yeah. I'm talking to Most Wanted, trying to convince him to,
get in the ring, yeah.
And then he said no, so the fight was off.
I liked him.
There was a reason it was 2v1 though, right? So Evil Hero wasn't supposed to be in there 1v1 against this guy.
No, and it went in a round. The main person I feel sorry for in all of this is definitely not Most Wanted. I feel sorry for Fox, because ultimately Fox has took the opportunity that he's been given. It was going to be brutal either way, let's be honest. With the two opponents, it was going to be pretty brutal either way. I didn't see him giving him any problems at all. And then maybe, I mean, look, man, when you get offered an opportunity to headline, it would have been good money. No one's going to go, oh, maybe I need a slightly harder fight. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, if I am Fox, even if you're doing the 2-for-1, maybe make the two, I don't know, Evil Hero who actually got in there, and then instead of Most Wanted, maybe that Pulley Arif guy or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? Like have them as two that, all right, yeah, they're not contenders going to go on and win titles, but they're going to offer a bit more resistance than.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah. So I look forward to seeing him next time out, Fox. I think that Fox, look, he obviously didn't enter the tournament, and he's young, and you know.
I think they've got a long-term plan for him,
Yeah.
and I think that's great. Like he is young, but equally, I think as people get picked off in this tournament, we'll see good options for him.
I think the people that go out, he should be looking at targeting. But Fox is doing it in the right way, because what I wouldn't like, right, is like, I'm sure if you asked Fox, oh, do you think you could beat Joey? Do you think you could beat Walid or whatever? He'd give you an honest answer, which, you know, as a boxer, your opinion's always going to be, yeah, I can beat anyone. But he's going about it in the wrong way, right way, in terms of like, he didn't enter the tournament. And for that reason, he's not shit talking the guys in the tournament. He's letting them get on with their stuff. He's getting on with his stuff. And obviously, hopefully, he can carry on building himself as a name. And maybe once the tournament winner deals with Dean, that can be a fight down the line too. So looking forward to seeing him next. He definitely needs to step up. Maybe if they're going to go more gradual, maybe like a Pulley Arif or someone like that.
My thing with Fox is just start having a bit more fun. Because for me, the thing I like about Fox's content, whenever I click on him, he's a silly guy, he's a funny guy. And then with boxing, he's so serious. It's like I'm listening to Anthony Joshua. It's not the heavyweight title. You're fighting two guys who got both knocked out in their last fight. Have fun. And he didn't do that enough. And afterwards, he was like, yeah, I need a break. I've been in camp for ages. I'm like, mate, you're not in camp, man. Come on. Like stop taking it. Like, even if you're in camp officially, but stop verbalizing how serious it is. Yes, it's serious to you, but we, the audience, want to be entertained. And what I like about him is he can entertain. But I think, like many YouTubers, they flick the switch to fighter and they stop flicking it back to entertainer. And he started to do that already. And I don't want to see him go down that road, because I am a fan of his content.
It's weird, like what works differently for people, isn't it? Like, I've done this long enough now to know what works for me is just to be really like nonchalant almost.
You're like 10 years older than him, obviously, and I feel like he just doesn't have that life experience to know that, and that's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
It's funny because I heard him, he was talking, and he said about liking Most Wanted before the fight, and then realising he was fighting him and thinking, right, for the next 6 weeks I've got to absolutely hate this guy. And that could work for him. That's not how I do it. Mate, I was on the fight, before the fight, going, I love Baby Elk, he's a right laugh, and he's a good bloke.
I think with years of experience and him relaxing into himself, it's gonna come.
So what about the other quarterfinal, which obviously we saw 2 rounds of? It was Yuddy against Cray Cray. I would like to take this opportunity to hold my hands up and apologise to Cray Cray, because, listen, we've all got our opinions. I thought that Cray Cray would be a sizable underdog in that fight.
He was winning it, wasn't he?
He was winning it, man. He was piecing Yuddy up by the end of it. But I mean,
I felt like I think we were heading towards a possible stoppage there. I don't know for sure, but the timing was getting better and better and better. And you could see Yuddy was looking less and less composed as he was getting hit. And the more he got hit, the more he'd get hit, you know, and it just felt like it was going, if I'm in Yuddy's corner, I'm like, this is going badly. We need to change strategy immediately. But obviously he didn't come out for round 3, because that was when the bomb threat happened.
He didn't look good at the open workout, Yuddy. I remember looking at him and he was like slapping with his left hook. And I remember thinking, mate, that does no damage when you hit me with that. Like, if you hit me with that sort of thing. So I
think we were speculating, is he a one-trick pony? His thing is, I don't get hit. Yeah, mate, but you don't really hit people that well either. Like, you know, you're a good evasive puncher, but it's very easy to be evasive when that's your priority. But in a game of Misfits, where we're looking at entertaining fights, what happens when people do come forward and put it on you? Can you fight? Because we've said on your fight, after we watched that, we've proven now Joey and I can not only box, but he can fight. What happens when someone's fighting you? And it felt like, Cray Cray was out fighting him quite comfortably.
Yeah. I was really impressed by Cray Cray. And I think that, listen,
I really like watching Cray Cray.
Yeah, good fighter. We're always going to change our mind as the tournament sort of goes on. But at the moment, I think me and Cray Cray are very much the front runners here now, that you're looking at and you're going, right, other boys in the tournament are going to have to put in big performances. So I think it's funny, isn't it? Like we spoke about the Tyson Fury cut and how that benefits him in his fight against Usyk, having it delayed. My God, the luckiest man on the card is Yadi.
By a mile. Yeah, I think they're going to rerun that from what I've heard. I don't know for sure, so no one quote me, because I know people will report this in a tweet. But if they do, there's adjustments needed from Yuri, definitely.
And I had sort of hinted at the fact that maybe because of it, like we know now that pretty much the whole of the way this tournament was worked out was on availability and timings, more or less, right? And because of that, it looked like it was a very natural semi-final fight for me should I come through Baby Hulk. And what my opinion would have been before the fight, should Yuddy come through Cray Cray, that it was going to be me against the winner of that fight next. Now, because of the timings...
All bets are off now.
All bets are off now. You know who I want in the next round? I want Walid. I hope he comes through Ace Musa and then I'm going to knock him spark out. I've seen he was tweeting about me as well. Yeah. He tweeted. He was fairly respectful sort of thing.
No, you know what? I like the way he did that. I thought, because that's the energy I want from as a fan, but also as a mate of you. It's like, I want to, when they say, I respect the guy, you're good, and that's why I want to knock you out. I'm like, cool, I like that. Come forward. See what happens.
An ideal route for, mate. I mean, Walid's going to have to learn to move his head against me.
Well, that'd be great though, because if you go and smoke Walid, that really puts you there as like the only other person who's done that is the main man himself, right, Dean. So if you can do that and do it potentially better, because let's not kid ourselves, Dean went to hell and back with Walid. Even when he dropped Walid quite a few times in that final fight, Walid came back a lot right at the very end.
Didn't Dean beat him on points both times though?
Yeah. Oh no, actually I think he stopped him. He stopped him in the first fight they had, but remember he was dropped badly early, Dean, and he came back and he stopped him from. I think he dropped them a couple of times, and that's when they waved off. I might be wrong. I know the final fight was definitely points. You're right about that.
Well, mine won't go to points of him, and mine won't see me getting dropped, hit, or hurt at all. So let's just see how that.
That's what I'm saying. There's a level to beat for sure.
If I was to plan a route for this tournament, I think what would be absolutely brilliant would be Walid in the next round, and then maybe Cray Cray in the final. I'd quite like that. That'd be good. I think Cray Cray's going to get past Yuddy now, to be honest. So let's see, man. Let's see. Yuddy doesn't get hit, does he? And I'm just stiff. So.
Any other fights you want to talk about? Did you see the first one? Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah. Vitali against Modin. Oh, mate, I had a good laugh yesterday, right? I was on a fucking wind-up. So I walked outside the hotel and Modin's there. Bearing in mind, I never spoke to Vitali at all really through the week, and I hadn't really spoke to Modin, just to like the odd little hello, mate, all right. I walked out and he's sort of like walking around, he's like on his phone and whatever. And I went, you all right, mate? And he went, yeah, have you been paid yet? And I thought, opportunity knocks. I went, yeah, why, have you not? And he went, no, not yet. And I went, that's it. No, you're not getting paid. And he went, what? And I went, did you not see the whole Vitali thing with a drug testing thing? I said, you don't get paid now. And he went, why though? That's him. And I went, shit, it takes two to tango though, doesn't it? And he went, oh, like that. And then I had him on for a minute and I went, nah, I'm joking. It takes a few working days. You'll get paid. And then he was like, oh, thank God for that.
Yeah.
But I was having a wind up.
I'll tell you what, mate. There's a couple of people on that card who probably shouldn't have been paid, and he's potentially one of them, to be honest, because the fuck I didn't throw a punch.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. So when we then got in, because we were waiting for a cab, we then got in the cab, like me and my team, he's gone off. And I went, fuck me, I had him good there, didn't I? And they went, yeah, but like, he probably is thinking he's not going to get paid because of the fight. And I went, why? Because I hadn't watched it back. I was in the changing rooms. I watched it back. He didn't throw a punch. He just ran the whole time. And I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, you shouldn't get paid then.
Nah.
Oh, I don't know,
I feel like, there was a few low moments on this card, and that was like.
But do you know what that's going to do?
This is ironically, it's a shame because this, for me, was the best moment so far in Misfits in terms of visually watching my mate do that. But overall, as a card, it was the worst card.
This card is going to shape the way that Misfits is going to go now. And I'm not saying it's going to drastically change, but like, I don't want to come across like I'm doubting that, Mams would have fought this or anything before. But it's very good that it would have held a mirror up and gone, right, okay, course, we need the gimmick stuff on there. We need the entertainment. It's a different audience we're catering
serious
for.
fights as well.
Serious fights and serious fighters. And like I had a little bit of back and forth with Yuddy, for example, right? But I would class him as a serious fighter in terms of like, if that guy gives you his word, he's going to be somewhere. He's going to be there.
And he's going to turn up in shape. And he's going to look to hit you.
Exactly. And I think that now this lightweight division that I'm in is stacked, right?
It's the best division.
It's the best one.
Without
It's
doubt.
the best one.
Yeah.
You could also put on a tournament between the guys that could contest for potentially KSI's title. That he'll be probably
Yeah, I think that's coming actually.
Exactly. So there's so much there that I think now it's just about making sure that maybe 60-70% of the card is filled with these guys like me, Yuddy, these sort of guys that, yeah, of course, they've got their platforms. They're working hard to promote it. But at the same time, they're about it and they're actual fighters. There's never going to be those moments.
The quality of the fights will be of a certain respectable standard. And I think quality control is now needing to be exercised because like there was just too many of those fights. I want to give a little bit of credit to the ladies. They really put to shame some of the, one guy didn't make the walk, one guy made the walk and didn't even throw a punch and ran around. These two women were solid.
Smashed it.
Yeah, they proper went for it. You had a dominant fighter in Alexia, who was just walking forward and throwing as many punches as she could. Technique obviously needs a lot of work, but the heart, the determination, and the chin was there. And I was like, yeah, I was rooting for her, right? And like it got to a point where I was like, go on, go for it. And then obviously the other girl was countering her with better boxing technique, good overhand shot.
Nikki Rue was good. She
that's right.
Her coach, a little bit of trivia for you. Her coach fought Kim Kardashian in a boxing match.
Really? Is that her?
Yeah, she just dropped it randomly in the car. We was like in the car on the way back. She went, yeah, talking about her own boxing. She went, when I fought Kim, and I went, Kim? She went, yeah, I fought Kim Kardashian. I was like,
yeah, I've seen the picture. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought they put on a good show, and I've got no problem with that. Like that was a really decent offering from the ladies. So
I thought it was good. I thought my main takeaway from it, man, is I love America. I want to go back there and fight again. Have you spoke to Mams much since the event?
To be honest, I've just been suggesting the odd little fight to make afterwards. I think I mentioned Baby Hulk to fight Spartan King Jay.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Small Spartan Jay, sorry. I think height-wise and skill-wise, that would be really fun. And I know they're both coming off the back of, rough nights, but also have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
I like their characters. I think they're both good fighters. And, for me, as a matchmaker, I'm not just thinking, because I think the easy ones make them, like the big ones make themselves, right? Like putting you in there with Dean, no brainer. But for that one, I like the idea of how do we rebuild people? And that's where I get thinking. So yeah, I just suggested that, but I haven't spoken to him yet. But I mean, I don't think Misfits will, I think KSI tweeted something about having a fire back in him from the competition with Aiden Ross. I mean, there's a feeling that he might have had something to do with certain things that happened on the night, right? And I think, sometimes you need a bit of a setback as a company to be re-motivated. So I think there's been a couple of tweets come out saying, we'll be a lot more careful with who comes on shows from now on. That sort of speaks to what you were saying about having a certain caliber of fighter throughout the card. And I think, lessons learned. It's an early promotion, right? We're still not even 20 events. Yeah, this is there's no way Dana White and the UFC got it right from the get-go. But equally, there's a level up needed clearly after that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just very happy to be a part of it, man. Mate,
you saved the day, in my opinion. Not even just saying it. That knockout, and credit to Baby Hulk for playing his part, for coming in mean mugging, bad intentions, trying to take your head off. Thank God he didn't. But he brought the fight, and you brought the fight, and and credit to Cray and Yuri for trying to before the bomb threat. The rest of the fights of the night, aside from the ladies who obviously did their best as well, I just think it could have been better.
I mean, the Jake Boswick fight was a good fight, and Chris Avila, he surprised me in terms of like the way he was around fight week. Do you know, like some people, you just feel certain energy coming off. And with him, there just was none. I was just like, he was just stoner energy. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you've nailed it. He's a marijuana fiend for sure.
Yeah.
He's got that Nate Diaz, like, even his record is crap. His record is not good. But it was just weird the way
you know the thing about the Nate Diaz thing, like, you can act like Nate Diaz, but only Nate Diaz really gets away with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not Nate Diaz. Like, when you're not Nate Diaz and you act like Nate Diaz, it's sort of boring.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy him.
Listen,
generally.
I got to personally just call it out for what it is, and people are thinking, oh, you're licking man's ass here. I didn't like the way he went on after the fight. That, for me, I just think, like, mate, don't bite the hand that feeds you like that. I know that everyone here is being looked after very well financially. Like, for me personally,
Can we just say one more other thing? Many people, many fans have said, can't wait for Misfits tonight. Has anyone ever said, I can't wait for this Chris Avila fight?
No.
Never.
No.
The guy's got a bang average record. He's a bang average fighter. So for him to act like he's better than Misfits is quite funny to me, because there's a reason you're here, bro. Like, so don't act like you're better than this, because you're not. You wouldn't be here if you were better than this. So, yeah, I think that's another... Again, it just comes down to the characters of people, I think, were more the issue than the talent or anything else in this fight. Like, you need people with good characters.
It's exactly that. I really do think that. I think that when we talk about maybe like potential lessons to be learned from this show in particular, when you got guys going on like that, maybe putting the promotion in a bad light, and it weren't just him, there was a couple of guys on the card and whatever, I sort of look at it and I think, mate, all right, I'm 2 fights in now, and you know, be easy for me to get carried away with the hype. Maybe I'll do a little bit, but one thing I do know is I'm still very, very aware that, wow, like, what a position I'm in, man. So many people would love to be in this position. If I had have said to myself a year ago, you're going to be in this position where you're in a tournament on Misfits, you're winning fights and that, it is the stuff that dreams are made of. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I've known you for a while now, and obviously you put a TikTok out of you going through, getting on the plane, going through the fight week, knocking the guy out, you with the cowboy hat on, giving your post-fight speech. And you're not a YouTuber to me, you're just a mate, right? And of all my mates, I'm like, fuck me. It's cool as fuck to see one of my mates doing this. Like, you know what I mean?
Mad. It's mate, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nice. Like, I don't want to say making everyone proud, like, of course, my family and that. It's just nice giving people something to watch. Like, I was getting, like, so many messages off everyone I've ever known and stuff like that. And so many people back home stayed up to watch the fight and stuff like that. And
I was grateful that it wasn't too late. Yeah, because then people in the UK could still watch it, and I feel like the tone around you amongst the fans, they're getting to know you more, they're seeing the skills more, and they're beginning to believe that you are the one. Like, I've seen loads of people have been DMing me being like, you weren't kidding about Joey, he's the fucking guy. Like, and it's funny now because I'm like, I think I seen Wade and shout out to Wade and Sensei on their podcast saying, Jordy's guy, he sent him in, he's infiltrated and he's coming to break it down.
they're not wrong.
Yeah, take it all.
Nah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what is next. So people, let me know in the comment section, who do you want to see me fight next? I mean, the decision's sort of out of my hands in the tournament, but listen, if there can be anything done with getting a Dean the Great fight in, you've heard it here first, I will take that fight in a heartbeat next. Let me know who you want to see me in with. I will see you all in the next one.